you, given that we've got Maka with us right now, we need to talk about England. The reaction in the English press today after their comeback win over DR Congo, all focusing on Harry Kane, as you would imagine. Harry Houdini, the great escape artist, and that's the Daily Star saying that, Maka. What did you think of what you saw from England yesterday?
It's like what I said 4 years ago. You know, they muddled through. They played well in patches. They got the job done. I expected them to win yesterday. Even when they were 1-0 down, I still thought they'd win the game. But they have to improve, don't they? They have to improve bucket loads if they're going to threaten the likes of Argentina, France, who we've already seen, Spain tonight, who we've already seen. England have to improve. I don't think they're as strong as they were 4 years ago, and I don't think they were as strong as 8 years ago. So they have to get some magic from somewhere. You know, Kane, Bellingham, Rice, great. The rest are trying to find form, and the fact that we're relying on relying on Harry Kane to get through the last round of 32, I think says a lot. And we've got a really, really tough game now in the Azteca at altitude. It's going to be very, very difficult. But you fully expect England to get past the rounds of 32, don't you? But they have to improve a lot. I don't get carried away, you know that. I say the same thing at every tournament. And we haven't seen enough, apart from maybe 45 minutes against Croatia in the very first game. We've seen patches, and patches don't win World Cups. You have to start stringing performances together. Hopefully it'll come in Mexico, but they have to improve.
Yeah, Maka, the boys last night were talking about the players that didn't come with Thomas Tuchel. Do you think he picked the right team to go out to come out here to the United States?
I mean, Kay, we can shout and moan about whether Trent should have come. I mean, I thought Trent should have come, and I said that beforehand. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon now because they've had injuries. And I don't mind Thomas Tuchel's selection. You can't please everybody all the time, but he lives and dies by that selection. And I personally would have had more creativity in the team, but that's the type of player I am. I always want more creativity in the team because I think games need to be unlocked when you get to the latter stages of this tournament. But we have to get behind Thomas Tuchel, and we have to hope that he works his magic. But when you look at the side, we look as if we've got 2 or 3 really good players, and then the rest are just bit part players. He doesn't go to his bench much until very late on. I don't think many changes will happen against Mexico. And we are vulnerable, aren't we, now, down the right-hand side, because we can't have Declan Rice playing right back. I mean, that's just unheard of because he's arguably our best midfielder. So hopefully everybody's going to be fit and well. We'll have a right back playing, and then we'll wait and see. But it's going to be a really tough game in Mexico. Everybody appreciates that, and everybody knows that. And what I would say is this time around is nobody's getting carried away in England. You know, all those headlines about Harry Kane. But in the inside pages, they were all saying how vulnerable England did look without the likes of Harry Kane, Bellingham. And, you know, they're certainly not as confident as they were in previous tournaments, all the journalists and the press.
Yeah, much has been made about the altitude, and that's what we're hearing, them talking about the altitude. But England are favourites coming into this game.
It makes it closer. I've played at altitude. I've done a pre-season with Coventry back in the day down at Salt Lake City, and I can tell you it absolutely takes your breath away. And you do one box-to-box run, it takes you 5 minutes to regroup. So England have got 3 days to try and prepare for that, which is going to be an almighty shock to the system. I think tactically, I'm not so sold on England's setup. I don't think you need Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice as 2 6s. I think Bellingham looks a lot better, and England look better when he drops a little bit deeper. Then you can play Ezra in the 10, or you can play Morgan Rogers, as Maka said, for creativity. So I think, and also what worried me today, if it was right, I was watching a podcast that Azpilicueta was on, and he got asked about Thomas Tuchel, and he said, we didn't do any defensive work under Tuchel whatsoever. When you look at that back four, that's the most glaring thing to me, that this team doesn't look like a team, it looks like individuals.
Yeah, when you talk about looking like a team, Jules, Mexico are very much looking like a real solid unit at the moment. Is that going to be a problem?
Yeah, I think if you're Mexico right now, you want the same or similar start to the game that you had against Ecuador, with the crowd, with the Azteca, with the altitude. And, you know, even if England, I don't know their schedule, but even if they get there early, it takes you time to accommodate to a place like that, and they won't be ready for it. It's only at the start of the game. So if you're Mexico, that first 15, 20 minutes, you have to go for it. And then they are just a well-drilled, very solid, hard-working team. They lack probably a bit of talent and a bit of magic in some positions, but you know what you're going to get from Mexico, and England have to be ready for that fight, because if they're not, and at times against Congo, I thought they were not ready really, or even against Ghana, for example, and even Panama, at times they were just not ready for the fight. And I think this game of old is the one where they will have to fight the hardest.
Yeah, let's talk tournament favourites. Let's stay with you, Jules, because France are top of that list, as you might imagine right now. And of course, after everything we've seen so far, now followed by Argentina, then Spain, then England, then Brazil. Are you sitting with your feet up at the moment, Jules, feeling confident?
No, it's not that. As you know, we are obviously very arrogant people, especially with all the Parisians in our squads. But let's not get carried away. And that's also what Deschamps has been repeated to the players. Is like, the Sweden team was not good. We all know that. It was the Norway B team. Iraq are not good. And against Senegal, the first half was not good either. Second half was much better. So I don't think anybody is really getting carried away. However, they are very much enjoying playing with each other. The Olise and Mbappe connection, what Dembele has been doing, Barcola Odue on the other side. And yeah, you could look at the fullbacks, and that's probably where the weakness is. Saliba is not fully fit, and that's not going to change. So it's not perfect by far. And I think Paraguay will offer a test in terms of, again, fighting and being very strong defensively, and the French will have to find solutions. But right now, again, after 4 games and 4 wins, they're exactly where they wanted to be at the start of the tournament. And for that, it's great, especially with the form of their big stars.
Who are you going for, Maka?
Well, I think you can't look any further from France. I agree with everything Jules has said. You know, the opposition's easy, and they should roll over Paraguay fairly easy as well. We're waiting for that first competition where people will close them down, make it hard. But when you've got that front four, and particularly Olise and Mbappe looking really, really sharp, you know, you're going to have a special team to stop them playing. But I think Spain were better today. Argentina will be tougher. I'm not saying they will go and beat them, but Argentina will be tougher to beat. Morocco will always work hard and try and close people down. And people will change the style of formation. They won't play open games the latter on in the tournament when you play France. You know, Sweden were there and Sweden were open. I didn't get carried away, but it's lovely to see the fluidity of the French team. So they're rightly favourites now. But again, I'm with Jules. You can't get carried away, but that front four are brilliant, aren't they? I think even the most neutral person loves watching Olise, Mbappe, Dembele and Barcola or Doué. They're fantastic to see. They play football the right way. And watching Mbappe in a French shirt is just beautiful. After watching him all year, score goals, but, you know, he's not particularly happy in a Real Madrid shirt. You can see the joy he has on his face when he scores for France.
How much would you have loved to play with those players, Maka?
No. I'd love to play with Hutch. That's about it. No, I'm not bothered about Mbappe and stuff.
I mean, they're looking brilliant. They are looking brilliant.
I'm getting carried away. I am, because I think the boys have alluded to it. Jules is a little bit sort of standoffish because he doesn't want to jinx it. I get that. But they bring you so much joy when you watch them. I do agree with Jules where I think the weakness is right back and left back. But it's how you get the ball off them. I like the way Deschamps is setting the team up to get the best out the front four. And I said it on the show the other day, watching Kylian Mbappe in a French shirt looks to me completely different than when he plays for Real Madrid. I don't know if it's the pride. I don't know if he's a lot more relaxed. He definitely looks sharp. I mean, when he gets the ball against any defender 1v1, and especially up against Gyökeres 1v1, Gyökeres stood no chance. It's his application. The ability will never lose him. He's always had it. But there's some sparkle in him when you watch him. You just think he is gold dust in a French shirt.
Yeah, Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, or Don Hutchison. We know who Maka would choose. Hutch all day long. Yeah, make sure to stay with us here on ESPN FC. We have plenty coming up for you throughout the World Cup, including tonight's show at the conclusion of all the action, 1 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus from New York. Be sure to join the team.